Good afternoon, Good Shepherd. It is Wednesday, May 20th, 2020, and happy to be with you this afternoon. Some of you may have seen that in the Good Book Club reading that we've been doing, reflection that I sent out, I think, yesterday. We're reading right now Matthew 24, which is known in academic circles as the Little Apocalypse, which means that it's an abbreviated version of all the bad things that are going to happen before the end of time comes crashing in. And the beginning of Matthew 24, Jesus is and the disciples are coming out of the temple, and his disciples, as the gospel reads, came to point out to him the buildings of the temple. Then he asked them, "You see all these? Do you not? Truly, I tell you, not one stone will be left upon another, all will be thrown down." Clearly, that was the situation when the temple came crashing down. All of the stones were turned over. And the Jews in Jerusalem, as well as the Jewish Christians in Jerusalem, had to figure out what to do. The Jewish Christians were accustomed to gathering in the temple, as well as meeting elsewhere. We know that from the Gospels and from the Acts of the Apostles. But they had to figure out how to move on. And it was kind of a duck and swerve, and can we meet over here? Can we meet over here? Meet in several places. But certainly all of the evidence that we have, the fact that we're even here, it indicates that they were able to survive that disaster. And that made me think that of a martial art, and I don't do martial arts, so I'm speaking only from kind of hearsay knowledge. One of the martial arts, Aikido, is based on the premise that you take your opponent's energy and transform it into your own. So it's a dance in some respects, as some of my friends who do Aikido do, but it's not resisting the enemy. It's taking the enemy's energy and using it to your advantage. And clearly, in COVID land and our situations of not being able to be in our building, it hasn't come down, but we certainly can't use it. There's something there to be said about ducking and swerving and taking advantage of what we have been offered, the energy that COVID land has inadvertently provided to us, and figuring out how to move forward in that regard. So we are still in the middle of it, and we're still sort of dealing with the assault of that enemy that is COVID in many, many different ways. And certainly as a congregation, we are doing that. Vestry met last night. We are talking about how we will move forward with regard to re-engaging our sort of more normal way of doing business. It's a long time off. I'm going to keep saying this, and I hope it will sink in, but it's a long time off. There are so many things to consider, and we are, again, as I've said before, and will continue to say, we are acting with all due caution, making sure that we take care of everyone in the congregation, especially those that are most vulnerable. So just be aware that the vestry is moving forward. We have tasks, we are on task, figuring out how to sanitize, how to broadcast, how to deal with outreach. All of those kinds of things are areas that members of the vestry are actively engaged in considering. So that's as much as I can say about that. I do want to say a few words about last Sunday. As you saw in the letter that I sent out on Monday, what happened on Sunday morning was nothing that we could prevent. It was hardly anything that we could do to remediate until Zoom fixed their own issues. And we've learned that they have. And I've been on, I don't know, maybe 10 Zoom meetings since Sunday morning already. And everyone has sort of gone without a hitch. I did see an announcement that Zoom has offered out some updates. So you might want to go in and update whatever you have in Zoom, just to make sure that everything is up to date, as they say in Kansas City. That said, we were concerned about how do we shift on the fly? How do we pivot if we run into another situation like this? And so we will be exploring a Facebook Live option. It will not replace the Zoom option, at least not as far as I can see. Um, but if there is some problem that Zoom goes down, we want to be able to know how, give an advance notice. You know, if we find out that Zoom is going down in the middle of the service, like it did on Sunday, then we can just stop and we can say we will reconvene on Facebook Live at 11 o'clock or whatever we figure is the right amount of turnaround. Some other congregations were already set up to do something like that. And so to make sure that we know and that you know how this would work, on Sunday night, May 31st, not this coming Sunday, but next Sunday night, which is Pentecost night. So Sunday night on May 31st, exact time we'll put out next week, but I think it'll probably be around 6 o'clock. We will do a Facebook Live evening prayer. Just to see how it works from our end. What does it look like to do the technological side and put together all of the things that we need to put together? And then also for you to have an opportunity to sort of check in, to do what it takes to check in and make sure that you know how to get onto Facebook Live to see the service. It will be different. We know that already. We won't see a lot of faces. That's one of the advantages of Zoom, is that you can see a lot of faces. Comments are just limited to the comment pane on the right side of the screen. But it will provide us another option should we need it. And then the second thing that it will provide is to sort of take the temperature, pardon the timely pun, take the temperature of the congregation to see if there is a need or a desire to do a later on Sunday service, a 6 o'clock Sunday service. We've done them for a long time, but we hadn't done them given the outbreak of coronavirus. So again, we will be doing that a week from Sunday night. Again, probably around 6, but we'll send all that information out to you and how to do it. It shouldn't be any more difficult, probably less so in some respects than what we have been doing, but it will give us a chance to test out another option. So I look forward to seeing you soon. This coming Sunday is the Sunday after the Ascension. Should be a great Sunday, talking about the Holy Spirit, the expectation of the Holy Spirit, talking about the Ascension, another opportunity to get together and be with one another. We will as well have the Canoeing the Mountains session that we had to cancel last week. So I look forward to seeing you either tomorrow morning at the morning sheep count or on Sunday at your favorite Zoom venue. Blessings to all of you, my friends.